Okay guys, so this is going to be a comprehensive list of all the information that I've gathered by watching streams of Neverness to Everness. Obviously I'm a small content creator, I wasn't able to get access to the game myself. Only a certain few, there's a bunch of content creators that got access to the game. But I did watch a bunch of streams and I was able to compile a bunch of different information. I'm not going to be using their footage because, it's their footage. I don't want to encroach on their content or whatever. You can go watch them, but in this video it will be a comprehensive list of all the information that I've gathered. So there will be timestamps and I will try to explain the concepts just so that you have a general understanding of the game as a whole, and all the different aspects of the game that I was able to piece together from watching streams and stuff like that. So this will be just a comprehensive list. You can check out the timestamps if you want certain detailed information. But yeah, so this will be the intro to the game. Now, the intro to the game, it was very well done. The cutscenes and character expressions when you're first getting into the game, they're all very expressive. It's very high production quality. This is not Tower of Fantasy. Tower of Fantasy had really bad camera angles and, characters popping in in random places, and it was really not great. But the intro cutscene was really good. All the character expressions are really nice. Characters like Mint, they're really, she's cute and funny. She's got a lively personality, and it's really well expressed in the game itself. Dynamic camera angles. Transitions between areas are well done for storytelling segments. From what we've seen to the intro to the game, it's honestly pretty high up there in production value. Like the transitions, they use cutscenes sometimes to hide loading screens. It's all good. It's all high production quality. And sadly, there's an amnesia trope to the story. Now, I'm not going to do many spoilers in this, but we'll just say that you're working for an organization that are anomaly hunters. So it's basically like Ghostbusters. It's anime Ghostbusters, okay? And the main character kind of has an amnesia trope. I'm not too happy to see that, but it is how it is. Amnesia is a really big thing, especially in gaming. It's just whatever. One of the things to note, there doesn't seem to be excessive dialogue bloat. The intro seems straight and to the point. It seems like there's enough dialogue that you're not standing around for too long listening to convoluted dialogue. They get straight to the point in the intro, which I like. It's not long and drawn out, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. So the intro is really nice. So during character story missions, it seems like if a character dies, you can fail the mission, which is kind of weird. But if one character dies, so that means any character in your party, if they die, it seems like you fail the story mission. I don't know how that works exactly, but that's what I saw from one of the cutscenes. But yeah, the story itself is very lighthearted, comedic, and it's just silly character interactions, which it doesn't take itself too seriously. Later on, there's like horror tropes because it's kind of like Ghostbusters, but it's like silly horror. And yeah, so I think it's all right. I think it's well done. It was in Chinese, so it was being translated to me. So I didn't really get the if there was jokes and stuff like that. You have to get it in your own language, obviously. And in the comedy, there seems to be like fourth wall breaks. So the characters start referencing being self-aware and also like referencing themselves outside the game and stuff like that. So it's a very comedic style story, but yeah. All right, next section, we'll go right into the combat. So there's a disclaimer about the combat. A lot of people are saying the combat needs work and that the combat itself is like, it needs a lot more time in the oven. But I don't think this game, its focus is not on the combat, it seems, and that might upset a lot of people. But there's a disclaimer here that a lot of the people that I was watching are streaming from North American servers, so the servers themselves are in China, so there's a lot of ping. So stuff like character swapping felt really bad. It seems like character swapping is server side, it's not client side, which will probably be, I think Wuthering Waves does client side character swapping, Genshin does server side, but because the ping is really bad for a lot of people that are testing out the game right now, especially the streamers that I can watch, they're not in China, so that we're not able to tell if the combat is as smooth as it should be. But from what we've seen right now, The dodge timing window is really huge, like it's really forgiving. We don't know if that's due to ping or not, but as far as we can see, that the dodge timing window is really big. There seems to be mini intro skills. I don't think there's outro skills. I think it's intro skills. It kind of works the same as Wuthering Waves. You have to build up an intro, and your character gets it off field, and then you can swap into them. These provide like buffs and stuff like that, but you have to hit the intro skill in order for the effect to trigger. So you can't just miss your intro skill. You have to kind of be accurate. As you roam around the map, you encounter anomalies. So they're like little enemy fights, and they can drop chests and other random stuff. Like sometimes you can get weapons from them. The quality of the weapons is probably like 3 or 4 star rating from what I saw, but we don't know how. The rating, it's probably just like random weapons from chests and stuff like that. But yeah, basically, you roam around the map. Obviously, there's going to be combat and story missions. We don't know much about Endgame Combat Right Now, as it's just people doing the beta test, and we don't know. As far as we can tell, there's not a heavy focus on combat in the game. It is there. There is team building and stuff like that. There's elemental reactions with the elemental wheel system I posted in my last video. That's all there. But as far as combat, it doesn't seem to be super heavy, but yeah. Okay, so as far as like other gameplay activities, from what we've seen, there's like a friendship type system in the game where you can give gifts to characters to increase their bond, which is like their friendship level. And after you increase their bond, you can get like gifts and unique rewards, such as like an outfit. So you can get perks for your car, and different items, like I'm guessing for your room and stuff like that, and your apartment eventually when you get one. So yeah, like the max friendship level, you can get like custom outfits for your characters. You don't need to obtain the character to increase their bond level from what we've seen so far. We don't know if that's going to change in the beta, but you can just increase bond level to any character. But if you don't have the character, obviously you can't equip their skin or whatever. You can bond with NPCs in the open world as well, like certain NPCs, shop owners and stuff. They'll give you discounts at their shop and stuff like that. Like if you increase their bond level, you get discounts, you get different various items, like mini cosmetic type things and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. There's a fortune house to get your fortune told daily to get some buffs, like 15% attack, which is pretty cool, like a daily buff. And also this place you can submit special rocks like the Oculus to permanently increase your stamina. So like the Oculus from Genshin, Dendroculi, whatever. It's kind of the same system if you know what it is. Now, another thing you can do is you can buy stores. So that means you're a shop owner. You can go around and buy shops and become and manage the shop. And that allows you to like earn passive income by, so far like all I've seen is a coffee shop and stuff like that. So you can buy a shop and then you can set items to sell and different various things to put up. Just mostly all we've seen so far is a coffee shop. So drinks and pastries and stuff like that. It's kind of like those business management things you see in like Honkai Star Rail or Genshin that shows up sometimes. It's like manage the business and then you earn passive income. But this seems to be permanent. It's not like a mini game event and it doesn't stop. So this is probably how you obtain your income in game. And you're going to need that income to buy, a car, and you have to buy your apartment, probably pay rent for your apartment. So you're going to need passive income and, buy a bunch of various other stuff like character upgrades and need money for that. You need money for all that kind of stuff. You're going to need the ingredients from elsewhere to stock up your store so you can keep serving drinks. So right now you can only buy it from the grocery store or the convenience store. I think it was a grocery store, but you buy the ingredients from the grocery store. I don't know if you can get it elsewhere, probably maybe through questing but yeah, right now you buy the ingredients and then you give it to the shop, the coffee store, like ground coffee beans and, different other like sugar and stuff like that. You need to stock up your store. And then in order for your store to sell items, stuff like that. Okay, now for driving. So for driving, there are rental cars, but they seem pretty pricey. and the rental cars seems to last like a whole real life day, or they're temporary basically. The rental car is not permanent, and they're pretty pricey from what we've seen so far. But you can buy a car permanently. Obviously, it costs more, I'm guessing. I didn't see the price on them exactly, but the prices are a bit skewed in the closed beta test because they gave everyone like a lot of money so that they can buy a bunch of stuff and see how test things out. So in the real game, we don't know how difficult it will be to get these cars. I'm assuming you start off with like a sedan, and then you can upgrade to like a Jeep, and then the Porsche sports car is probably the most expensive one. And I'm sure they'll add like cars later on, like different model cars and stuff like that. You can upgrade the car. So far it's only color right now. I'm not sure if there's like speed boosts or whatever, but the upgrading of cars, it just seems to be like color and decals. There's a car radio, but right now there's not many songs. There's like 3 or 4 songs, and they're all like, chill, relaxed driving music. The car can be damaged. You'll have to visit a mechanic to repair the car. I'm not sure, like I'm assuming, the car just looks like messed up. I don't know if like you'll need a perfect pristine car for some missions or whatever. Maybe some NPCs don't want to ride in your car or whatever. That's speculation. I'm not sure if that's the case, but the car will look messed up. It'll have like a cracked windshield and stuff if you keep damaging it. It might slow down the vehicle. Like it won't go top speed if it's not repaired. So you probably have to go to a mechanic, and there are mechanics to go and repair the car. Now in first-person driving mode, you can't move your head. You can't look to the side and stuff like that. You can't check the rear view mirror. As far as we know, I don't know if that's going to change, but you just look straight ahead, stiff-faced, and yeah, basically that's it. You can't look around. Okay, so as far as questing goes, dailies are pretty standard. Like, it's pretty standard. There's a bunch of activities. You have to fill up the bar to 100. It's kind of like Wuthering Waves, where there's like 5 sections. Every 20 gives you the daily reward, and then you get the currency. Now, let's talk about the gacha for a second here. The gacha system. There is no gacha system in the closed beta test. So all the people were able to get and unlock characters through some kind of ranking system and leveling up system where you level up your hunter level, and then there's different objectives where you can obtain characters. There is no gacha system. We don't know how it's going to work. We don't know the pity. That info is not in the game right now. The gacha system is a mystery. However, dailies are standard. I'm assuming the dailies will give you a currency system, like currencies like gems, primo gems, jade, whatever they're called. So far, there's no gacha system in the game. So yeah, dailies are pretty standard, like most gacha games. There's an expedition system, like Genshin, where you send characters out on a per day basis, where they gather and collect materials. Like, you know how it goes in Genshin, like the expedition system. You send, Lisa or whatever to the mines, or Bennett to the mines, and then they go collect your ores and whatever. But it's different. There's gonna be different materials and stuff like that. But this game has it. Now, the gearing system, very unique gearing system. Let's go over that. So equipping gear and artifacts, each character has a Tetris-like puzzle slot to fill, and each piece of gear is a different Tetris piece. So it's kind of like Wuthering Waves, where Wuthering Waves, you're only allowed a certain point allotment, but in this one, it's like a puzzle system, right? So each character has different unique slots in their, it's like a Game Boy looking type thing. You'll see, I'll post a little picture of it. And you have to fit in Tetris pieces to be able to gear them, right? Now, each Tetris piece has like randomized stats such as crit rate, crit damage, break effect, because this system has like a stun meter. So it's kind of not break effect, but it's more like filling their stun gauge until, days. It's more like Zenless Zone Zero days. Attack percent, the random substats that you usually see on artifact systems. Now, here's a big thing. You know the substats beforehand. So you know everything that's going to happen with the substats. They're not a mystery. So it's kind of like Wuthering Waves. Imagine you picked up an Echo and you saw all the substats there, and it wasn't a mystery. So, which is almost too good to be true. We don't know if that's going to change. Maybe that was only for beta. But if that is true, then it will be the best gearing system in any gacha game I've seen or played so far. That there's no RNG to which substat it will hit. So if you see a piece, you'll pick it up. It'll have double crit on it already. It'll show you the amounts of that crit, and all you have to do is level it up to unlock that substat. But it's not a mystery. You already know what it is. That means once you pick it up, then if it's not good, you can just toss it or fodder it to level another better piece, right? Yeah, and there's different sizes of blocks, like 4 block pieces, and then 2 blocks, 3 blocks, 1 block. And 4 has more stats, obviously, but you can't stock your whole thing with up with 4 pieces. You have to like fit it in, so you won't be able to fit in all 4 pieces. And for set bonuses, you're going to need different 4 pieces. So each character will have a different set bonus depending on their element and whatnot. And there's also like a little slot down at the bottom will be your like elemental damage bonus type thing for whatever element that character needs. And those will also have random stats on it as well. So it's going to be like goblets and, Zenless Zone Zero, fire, ice. It's going to be like goblets and the orbs in Honkai Star Rail. Now, these blocks, you cannot rotate them, so they're set in place. It's not like Tetris exactly, where you can just rotate them to be able to fit them better. A zigzag will always be in the same shape it will be in, and at like a horizontal 4-block line piece in the Tetris thing will always be up. It'll always be horizontal or vertical. You cannot flip them or rotate them. But the set bonus seems very worth it because it gives, from what I've seen so far, it gives like 42% crit damage. It seems really worth it, so you probably want to aim for the set bonus. And weapons are like these funky looking disc things. They're kind of like W engines or Lightcones, where characters are probably going to just have unique weapons, and that's how they're going to function. And the damage from their abilities and stuff are going to come from these W engine type, Lightcone type things. So it's not going to be like Genshin, where you actually see the weapon, and your character changes their weapon. But it's going to be more like Zenless Zone Zero, Honkai Star Rail, and not like Wuthering Waves, because in Wuthering Waves you can also see their weapon changing and stuff like that. So yeah. Okay, for the open world, you can swim. Swimming, you can swim for as long as you want, as long as you have stamina. But as soon as you run out of stamina, you're going to start taking damage, and you won't last very long. You take a big chunk of damage every like 2 seconds or something. So it just prevents you from like swimming too far out into the city. Obviously, that's the limit. I don't know if there's going to be boats. I don't think for right now there's no boats. Didn't see any. The NPCs in the open world, they're pretty dynamic. They act like if there's a gate that scans people, the NPCs will go through. You can see that they're scanned. There's some really dynamic sections in the opening of the game there. But yeah, the NPCs move around. They don't move around that much, but they're not like static, and they're not like completely brain dead NPCs where they're just standing in one spot. Some of them are like sitting around, but it feels decent enough. It's not like the most amazing NPC thing in the world, but it's not like Zenless Zone Zero either. They're not very detailed NPCs. They're distinct enough, and it's good enough, I'd say. Some of the NPCs have voiced dialogue in the open world. So you can randomly just hear people talking to you. If you go close to them, you can just talk to certain NPCs that might have voice dialogue, which is pretty good. They also seem to have like a random generator, so it seems like they're dynamic, that not every NPCs will be the same, like out in the open world. So they're constantly changing and whatnot, which is good. I think that's good. And there's a lot of varieties of them. Like I said, they're not super detailed, but you won't notice repeating NPCs that often. You'll notice it sometimes. Like you'll see 2 of the same girl with blonde hair eating in a burger shop, and they kind of, okay, it's kind of the same. But there's enough NPC variety where it's good enough that it's not too out of place, and not everyone looks like, copy pasta, I guess you could say. Now, there are two types of maps. There's one map for the regular normal city, and then there's the Anomaly map, okay? So there's Anomaly World, which is basically just the other dimension that is laid on top of the world that's already in the game, and then there's the Anomaly, the regular world map. Phone booths, like a Doctor Who telephone booth, like a very old school looking telephone booth. Those are the teleport points. And there's these monuments, Pointy monuments. You'll see a cutscene with Mint. She tells you about the Pointy monuments, and there's different hunter headquarters and stuff like that. But these Pointy monuments are like the statues of the Seven, and they're, you know, they unlock the world map from the Fog of War. And, you know, it's hidden, but then you click on them, and those are like the you go there. I'm assuming you can like regenerate health there and stuff like that. I believe you can regenerate health in telephone booths as well. So there's a lot of different stores you can go into. You can go into like burger shops, music stores, or like the weapon shop. I think there's a quest there. I think you could buy weapons from him. You can go into different cafes, grocery stores. So there's a good amount of buildings you can go into. You can climb. There's wall running. There's a little bit of wall running. I don't think it's as in-depth as Wuthering Waves wall running, but it's there, guys. If you love wall running, you're going to love this game, I guess. You can climb pretty much any building, as far as I've seen right now, as long as you can have the stamina. Anamoly, the character, will be pretty good for climbing, because she can just, if you've seen her abilities, she can like run up the side of the walls and stuff like that. For a long time without using stamina. But anyways, apartments, personal apartments. There will be some rewards from furnishing your apartment. I wasn't able to figure out what these rewards will be. I'm assuming it'll be various cosmetics and stuff for your car. And I've also heard that there will be co-op, so that you can invite other players to your apartment, and so that you'll be able to visit their apartment and stuff like that. I don't know if there's going to be mini games. I'm hoping they add like mini games to your apartment, where maybe they can have something with co-op too. But so far it just seems to be like the teapot, where they can enter your apartment. I don't think it's going to be like super, you know, it's just going to be a very casual thing. But yeah. Okay guys, we're just going to go over some general topics as well. Yeah, so the game has really good attention to detail and character design and environment design. That's what I like about the game from what I've seen so far. There's little details here and there, like, you know, NPCs will react to your character, like if you attack them and stuff like that. And there's destructible things around the world where, you know, it's not too detailed, but you can destroy some things. Basically, the game has very high production quality, and I was watching GACHA, and he brought up a really good point. The game has such good production quality right now. It's skeptical that they can keep up this level of production quality as the game proceeds with patches in the future. Like, are they able to keep up this level of production quality with the cutscenes, with the character interactions, with the, you know, all the things that go into the story and stuff? Because for right now, it seems very high initially to start off with. Hopefully they can keep it up as patches go on. And we don't know how long the patch cycle will be yet, of course, obviously, but that's one of the concerns. I want to go into some other concerns. There's some small loading screen bugs. I'm not sure if that's due to ping, because I was watching a streamer from North America, but hopefully the loading screen issues can be fixed. Sometimes it'll like pull you out of the screen and then put you back in, and not everything's loaded and you can see it for a split second. Maybe that's a ping issue, but and also you can there's small bugs, like there's small NPC bugs, like there's invisible NPCs eating in a burger joint. You know, like there's some little bugs here and there. Also, you know, Fob was going around the map and he was looking for bugs and trying to get outside the world map, and there's an unstuck button, but you know, sometimes you can find yourself like falling out of the world map if you like really push yourself. So hopefully they can take that feedback. It is a beta, of course, obviously. There hasn't been that many bugs, surprisingly, but there has been some. And, you know, we don't know if like I said, the loading screen bug, if that's due to ping issues or whatnot, we'll see. Okay, so conclusion, all in all, Neverness to Everness seems to be an urban life simulator mixed in with some fantasy ghost hunting and like a silly lighthearted story. The combat does not seem to be a major focus, guys. Like, it seems to be there, but the game is kind of like, you know, you roam around the city, you're doing quests, you're living a city life, you're driving around, like discovering like little puzzles and stuff, and sometimes you'll encounter an anomaly to go fight, or maybe you're doing a quest and whatnot, and then there's obviously going to be the main quest and stuff like that, but the combat does not seem to be the main focus of the game. Obviously it's there to interact with the world and fighting monsters and stuff like that, but from what we've seen, a lot of people are saying the combat it needs a lot of work, and it feels a bit bare bones, like as far as like one-on-one confrontations between enemies. The character kits themselves feel a little bit bare bones, is basically what I've heard a lot of. And yeah, so also there's no info about the monetization or the gacha system. We don't know if there's going to be paid skins. We don't know how the gacha system is going to work, if there's going to be a weapon banner, if there's going to be what the pity system is going to be like. I'm assuming they're going to follow Genshin, Wuthering Waves, or HSR, one of those. It's going to be somewhat similar to those, I'm guessing, because that's how most gacha games are trending nowadays. So, that being said, also, I forgot to talk, like the gearing up system, all that kind of stuff. A lot of the game is similar to Genshin, HSR, Wuthering Waves. Kind of standard, like you level up your characters, your talents, stuff like that. But yeah, so far the game is kind of like an urban life simulator with a funny ghost story and likable characters. From what I've seen, the characters are pretty funny and likable. And yeah, they're cute. Mint is cute. And, you know, the characters and story, you know, there's some good ones. There are male characters, mostly female characters so far from what we've seen. There's furry characters also. There's the dog. There's like a dog boy. Apparently you can get him. But yeah, I mean, so far from what we've seen of the game, it looks pretty good. Maybe a lot of combat enjoyers won't be into the game that much, but we'll have to see. Yeah, all I can say, guys, is I'm not able to get access to this game, but hopefully you like the list of what I was able to point out here and the different aspects of the game. But yeah, that's what we know so far about the game. And yeah, like I said, you can go watch streams. If you don't want to watch the streams, I made this list, but some of these streams are like really long, and they're like hours and hours and hours. People are still playing it right now. The beta, I think, is like a couple more days. So GACHA is a good streamer. You can go watch Steparu. You know, there's Mr. Poke. I think he's streaming it as well. But yeah, guys, thanks a lot. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll get, if there's any new info or updates. Oh, I forgot to talk. I need to talk about one thing. Optimization. That is a really big thing to bring up. So the system requirements seem to be really heavy so far. It seems to be very CPU heavy. We still don't know how mobile optimization is right now, because this is only a PC client that they're testing right now, but it seems like you need a decent system, and kind of worrying because people on low-end PCs are probably going to have a tough time. Okay, so thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed the list, and yeah, any new info comes out, I'll keep you posted. Thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.
Honkai Star Rail fucking sucks.